I used to never be able to focus and accomplish anything in school. My math skills to this day is god awful because I could not focus in math class. I barely graduated high school. Contrast that with now, where I'm able to focus and accomplish more in a day than I could back then in a week. I know this sounds hard to believe. I'm not trying to sell you anything. The truth is, whether you're trying to be a better student, whether you're trying to be more productive in your business or at work, you need to learn how to learn and how to be able to sit and actually be productive. School does a terrible job on actually teaching people how to be productive and learn. I'm not a productivity expert. I'm just somebody that through trial and error and through research figured out what actually works and what doesn't. Deep work, biohacking, goal setting, time management, and mental health. I'm going to go through each one of these and how I use them to be more productive. Deep work is a concept come up with by Cal Newport in his book Deep Work. It's the ability to focus on a single cognitively demanding task with the maximum amount of effort and focus to get the most possible done in a single work session. Basically, what that means is deep work is when you sit down and focus on a task without any interruptions with the intention of getting into a flow state. The first step of deep work is to cut out all distractions. That means working in a distraction-free environment like a quiet place in your house or the library. However, I think you need to go a step further. People don't understand just how much distractions they have in their normal life. You need to turn off all your notifications on your phone or put it on airplane mode, and turn off all the notifications on your computer if you're working on your computer. Any notification that you get from your phone is going to distract you so much from actually being able to get into a flow state. A lot of people think that, oh, it's just a message, I'm just gonna check it for 1 second. But the thing is that if you check your message for that 1 second, it distracts you really for like 5 minutes, because it takes you that much longer, 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes, for you to actually get back into a flow state. You probably have limiting beliefs as to why you need your notifications on, or why you can't just turn your phone on airplane mode, like for an emergency or whatever. But the reality is, outside of extreme situations, you don't need to have your notifications on for a couple hours of deep work. I can't stress this enough, but notifications and these small distractions make you so much less productive when you're doing deep work. I actually go a step further than just turning off notifications. I only listen to brown or white noise when I work. No music. That way I get super focused when I'm accomplishing things. The next important thing in deep work is you can't do any multitasking. If you're doing what's called shallow work, not deep work, things like replying to an email, for me that'd be like changing my YouTube banner, things that don't really require much effort and focus, things like that can be multitasked. You can reply to emails while you're eating breakfast or whatever. Shallow work probably can and should be multitasked. However, deep work needs to require 100% of your brain's focus and attention for it to actually be productive. You also need to have a clear understanding of what you're going to accomplish in that deep work session. So what I like to do is the night before I actually work, I write down specifically what I'm going to do during my deep work. That way when it gets time to deep work, I know exactly what I'm going to do, and all I have to do is work on that. Lastly, have a clear understanding for how long you're going to actually work for. And what I like to do is set a timer for that length of time, so I feel like a sense of urgency to get more work done. Also, what Cal Newport says is that you can only work for 4 hours of actual meaningful deep work. If you've done a lot of deep work and you know how to really focus and get a lot done, then you could probably stress that to 5 hours, maybe even 6 hours of real meaningful deep work. But deep work is not just working on a task. It is truly maximum focus and effort on a specific thing that you're doing. And so you're only going to be able to do a couple hours of true deep work before your mind starts to wander, and then you start to not be able to actually do meaningful deep work. So in the beginning, only aim for like 3 to 4 hours of actual deep work if you're new to deep work. This is a quick editor's note. I can't believe I forgot to mention it in the video, but the 80-20 rule. You have to focus on the 20% that will get you 80% of the results. So when it comes to deep work is only focusing on that 20% that gets you 80% of the results. The rest is just shallow work. So for me, I make videos. That'd be just filming the video, right? If I can only do one thing, it'd be filming and posting the video. So whatever you're doing, if you're in school, what's the most important assignment that you're procrastinating on? Work on that, all right? If you have a deadline for a job, what is the most important, usually the thing that you're procrastinating and you don't want to do? That is absolutely what you need to focus on in your deep work. The next thing that greatly improved my ability to work is biohacking. Biohacking is where you optimize your physical body to improve your health and your focus and your life in general. For this video, we're just going to talk about the benefits of biohacking as it pertains to improving focus and productivity. So not quite the health aspects of it. Biohacking can get pretty complicated, but just focus on diet, exercise, and sleep. That's going to be the main things that improve productivity. The ideal diet, in my opinion, is something like the animal-based diet. It's where you eat meat, organs, fruit, and honey, and some white rice if you're trying to bulk and put on muscle. However, the caveat though is white rice, if you eat too much of it, will give you brain fog, so keep that in mind. The main thing to avoid in your diet is to avoid carb-heavy and ultra-processed food. That gives you a lot of brain fog. Foods like bread, pasta, chips, sugary drinks. So what I eat for breakfast is eggs, breakfast sausages, and some tea with a little bit of honey, and I feel no brain fog from that. Most people live with this constant brain fog that they think is normal, that literally just comes from their shitty diet. Sleep also impacts your ability to focus and get meaningful work done. I personally notice a huge difference in my performance when I don't get enough sleep, and I'm sure everybody does as well. The biggest things that I've found to improve my sleep is having a strict bedtime and wake time, having a nighttime routine, and avoiding electronics before bed. A bedtime routine is important because it actually conditions your body to get ready for bed and actually allows you to fall asleep easier. Your bedtime routine can be as simple as showering, brushing your teeth, and reading a book before bed, as long as you do it every night before bed. Mine is literally taking a shower, brushing my teeth, journaling, and planning for the next day. As long as you have a consistent bedtime routine that relaxes you, that doesn't involve electronics, then you're good. What you don't want in your bedtime routine is to scroll on TikTok for an hour each night before bed. That will absolutely affect your sleep. Most people should already know that going on your phone before bed is bad for sleep. And you've probably heard advice like it's important to avoid blue light before going to bed because that interferes with your ability to go to bed and sleep. And that's true. I mean, you can easily just turn your blue light off on your phone. It's like go on settings and figure that out. But it's not enough to just turn your blue light off. What I found is actually avoiding electronics an hour before bed makes a massive difference in being able to go to sleep quickly. That is, unless you're using a Kindle to read, I would avoid all electronics before going to bed. I mean, you think that going on your phone before bed would be fine and that it relaxes you, but really what it does is actually keep you more awake and stimulate your mind a little too much, and it prevents you from going to bed. So really avoiding all electronics, 30 minutes, preferably to an hour, absolutely massively affect your ability to go to sleep. The last biohacking technique is exercise. But it's not the regular, you need 30 minutes of physical activity every day. I mean, yeah, that's true. Everybody should lift weights and be active. And you should obviously be at a low body fat percentage. Being obese is definitely going to make you more tired and feel more lethargic. However, I've found that going on short walks a couple times a day, especially after a meal, massively improves your energy and your ability to focus. This is something that I got from Stan Efferding. He is the creator of the vertical diet. He trained world champion strongmen. He himself is like a bodybuilder. I think he has like a world record, a couple world records. I think he trained John Jones. So he trained a lot of professional athletes. And what he believes is that short walks really help with digestion and blood flow. And I found that personally, It really helps with maintaining consistent energy levels. The next thing is goal setting and time management. Having daily, weekly, and monthly goals help me a lot, especially weekly goals. When I plan the next week, I write down in Google Calendar what I'm going to work on, as well as set deadlines for when I need to complete the task by, like upload a YouTube video by Friday. That's for an example. Having goals can help you to remind you as to why you're working so hard. That's why having long-term goals is important. Short-term goals like daily goals and weekly goals can make it easier to feel like you're actually accomplishing things and to give you that feeling of satisfaction when you actually accomplish those goals. And when I found that monthly goals and 6-month goals and yearly goals, those goals give you something to strive towards to excite you. So I think short-term goals are important in that it gives you satisfaction and that you're actually steadily accomplishing things. And the long-term goals give you something to reach towards and to strive for. Goal setting with, in my opinion, the ultimate time management strategy, which is time blocking, massively improved my ability to get a lot of work done. Time blocking is when you divide up your day into different time blocks. So what that means is like a to-do list where you account for the time that it takes to actually accomplish each task. Time blocking can be pretty intimidating for a lot of people, but just having a to-do list is going to be way better than nothing, and I'm surprised just how many people don't have a basic, simple to-do list. However, if you can learn how to time block, that will absolutely massively make such a difference in your productivity. I mean, I can't stress enough. Also, your sleep's going to improve because you're going to actually be able to schedule your day properly and go to bed on time. Most successful people do some form of time blocking. And so, if you're trying to be successful in school or business, I would highly suggest you to look up specific time blocking strategies. Everybody kind of does it a bit differently, and there's so many YouTube videos on how to time block, so I would look those up if you're interested. The next massive thing that helped me was improving my mental health. I made a video on how to improve your mental health, so if you need a guide, check it out. But basically, for a lot of people, if you don't have a good mental health, that will massively affect your ability to actually be productive and get anything done, as well as stay consistent. When I improved my mental health, that is when I actually noticed that I was actually able to stay consistent on the previous steps like time blocking and biohacking. A lot of staying consistent is about improving your mental health and being able to quit your addictions that distract you from your goals, like a phone addiction that causes you to look at your phone every couple seconds when you're doing work. When I started working on my phone addiction, it greatly helped my ability to actually get work done and improved my focus during my deep work. Also, meditation will help you not just with your mental health, but it will directly help your ability to focus and stay productive doing deep work. So I would absolutely do meditation. I honestly don't know why more people don't talk about mental health as it pertains to productivity, because again, a massive aspect of staying productive on your goals is about mental health. A lot of people get distracted by Netflix or their phone or whatever, and that's really one of the big reasons as to why they can't just sit down and be productive. So focusing on your mental health, focusing on your screen addiction, on your attention. People think that they have ADHD, and maybe you do have ADHD. I certainly have ADHD, but the way to treat ADHD is to do things like meditate, is to focus on your mental health so you don't feel the need to be as distracted. Lastly, if you have any other productivity strategies that have helped you that I haven't mentioned in this video, please comment that down below. I think it would help everybody greatly. I make videos on self-improvement and things related. Please check them out. Like if you like, subscribe if you like these videos. Peace.